Hi, this is IK Tutors, and we are here to do another HESI problem. So we have a word problem here, and we are preparing for the HESI. So we want to be very clear about how to deal with word problems. So generally speaking, there are four types of word problems, right? And what we're going to do for all four types, regardless of whatever the type is, we're going to translate that word problem into an equation, and then we're going to solve the equation for the unknown. All right. However, each of those four types requires a different formula. So we have to discern or determine what type of equation the word problem is so that we can set up the correct formula. How do we do that? It's very simple. We simply look at the numbers. The numbers tell us exactly what type of problem it is. For example, if we look at the numbers in this question, we see that we have these dot formats in it. Right here, I'll point it out to you. See the numbers here? It says 3 to 2. And that's dot notation. That dot notation tells you that this problem is a proportion problem. Proportion. So now that we know it's a proportion problem because we saw the dot notation, we know we can use this three-step technique right here to solve it. Right. So let's begin. Okay. Uh, we're going to write the equivalence into fractions. That means we're going to write, it's exactly what it sounds like. One fraction. Let's give ourselves a little space here. One fraction equals another, equivalence to two fractions. So let's get our fractions from the numbers in the word problem. The first set of numbers we see here is 3 to 2. So how do we know if we have a fraction, right? We have to write, that's two numbers, and the ratio is two numbers. So only thing we really need to know is which number goes on top. And for ratios, the number on the left always goes on top. Always, always, always. For proportion ratios, the number on the left goes on top. So it's going to be 3 to 2. Now, for a word problem, they're always going to give us a name for the ratio, like a name for the classification for the number on the top and a classification for the number on the bottom, right? And it's always in order. So the first number is 3, and in the name, they have the first thing you have there is cat. That means the 3 corresponds to the cat, right? This is the name of the ratio. It says cat to dog ratio. And if the second number is 2, and in the name of the ratio, the second thing they mention is dog, then the 2 corresponds to the dog. So that we know that this ratio is going to be cats over dogs. Now that's very important so we can get the other side of the equation. We need to have that classification. They're always going to give it to you in the proportion problems, with the exception of one type of proportion problem, and that's the one where they use the words percentage of error, I should say, right? And for that type, we'll know by default the classification is broken things over total number of things, right? And that's by default. So as soon as we see percentage of error, we know that we're talking about broken things over total uh, number of total things. Okay. Any other proportion problem, word problem, they're going to give you the name of it. All right, so let's go ahead and and finish this up. So we know that it's going to be one fraction equal another. So we look for another number, right? Now, either going to give us the number of dogs or cats. We're going to see, right? So we go in and we see, oh, 1,425 cats. And we know that the cats goes on top. So this number goes on top. 1,425 goes on top. And then we also know that for proportions, we're always going to get the format is one fraction equal another, and one of the fractions is going to have an x in the top or the bottom. So in this case, the number is on top, so the x can only go on the bottom, so that's where it belongs. So now we've written out our equivalence of two fractions, and now we're going to go to the next step, which is we're going to get our equation. Why do we need an equation? Because they asking us to solve for an unknown. We can't solve unless we have an equation to solve, right? So how do we get our equation? We're going to cross multiply the tops with the bottoms. So we're going to multiply the 3 on top with the x on the bottom, and we're going to get 3x equals, we're going to multiply the 1,429 on top with the 2 on the bottom. right? So we got 2 times 1,495, right? So we took care of step 2. We cross multiplied and we got our equation. Next is step 3, the last and final step. We're going to simplify and solve. So we get 3x equals 2 times 1,495 is, I'm sorry, that's supposed to be 25. 2,001, 2 times 1,425 is going to give us 2,850. Now we're going to go ahead and solve this, right? And remember the rules for solving, right? We look on the variable side of the equal sign. Whatever math operations happen on a variable, we do the opposite of it. So we're multiplying by 3. We're going to do the opposite of that and divide by 3. And we know how the equal sign works. Whatever operation we do on one side equal sign, we must do the identical operation on what? The other side of the equal sign, right? Now we go ahead and simplify, and we get 3x divided by 3 is going to give us 1x, which is just x because the 1 is invisible in algebra. And 2,850 divided by 3 is going to give us 950. So there we have it, guys. The answer that we're going to look for in the multiple choice option for this question is 950. So I hope this helped, right? If it did, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat, right? If you can also go to the HESI support website. That's the St. Paul School of Nursing support website. The link will be in the description, and you can post your answer there or post your question there on the contact us form. All right, guys. So again, I hope this helped. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing day.